For those who want to join my WhatsApp tuition, online tuition, you can WhatsApp me on this number. So biology is very simple. So the way you're able to see what I'm doing here is the way I conduct tuition as a mode of learning. So you'll be able to see or visualize what I'll be writing, as well as you'll be asking questions. Alright, so the flowchart shows a green leaf being tested for the presence of starch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here there is addition of iodine. So iodine, there is addition of iodine here. So now the question is saying what are substances 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, it has to be water. So you have to know the purpose of boiling a leaf in water. And then this one 2, it has to be water also. So 2, it has to be water. Then we add a leaf in ethanol or alcohol. So it has to be ethanol or alcohol. So we have alcohol or ethanol. Ethanol. Let's say just ethanol or alcohol. Then this one here, it has to be water. Then at the end you add iodine. So those are the steps, or these are the changes that you are able to see here. So for number 1, it has to be water. Number 2, it has to be water also. Then number 3, it has to be alcohol or ethanol. Then number 4, it has to be water, not iodine. So meaning to say the answer is just going to be D. Then how does drinking alcohol affect the nervous system? So time taken for impulse to pass from receptor to central nervous system, it is going to decrease. Then time taken for impulse to pass from central nervous system to the effector is also going to decrease. So the answer is A. Then the diagram shows a section through the female reproductive system. Where does fertilized, it is not saying where fertilization occurs, it is saying where fertilized ovum or ovum implanted. So this is where fertilization occurs, but where does a fertilized ovum or ovum implanted? It is implanted in the uterus. So the answer is going to be B. Then this one is saying a potato is cut into 2 portions. So it's more like we have a potato, then we cut it. Remember, this is a genetic one, so it has to be clone. So meaning when I say clone, meaning to say something which is identical or genetically identical. So X and Y. So we have X and then Y. So both portions produce shoots that grow into new plants. So these are the shoots that we are able to see. So which statement about the 2 new plants is not true? So the question is saying it's not true, not it is true. So they are clones. So this one is true, they are clone. Clone meaning to say they are identical. And then they have the same parent. Yeah, it's more like this one was this was a single parent, and then we have gotten X and Y from a single parent. Then they can come from different zygote. No, they came from the single parent. Then they contain identical genes in each cell. Yes, so meaning to say the answer is just going to be B, because it is saying which one is not true. Then which term of variation can be inherited by offsprings? So genetically, something that passes through from the mother to the offspring, it is passed in form of genes. So genes can be inherited, but variation caused by environment, it can't be inherited. So meaning to say the answer is just going to be B. And then this one is saying the diagram shows a fetus developing inside the uterus, which arrow shows how viruses and drugs may enter the fetus or fetus. So it can enter through the placenta and then travel through the umbilical cord into the baby. Then after a plant has developed flowers, what is the correct sequence of events that leads to reproduction? So reproduction, the first one, it has to be pollination. So pollination, it has to occur first. And after pollination, so it can be cross pollination, self-pollination, or whatever pollination, but pollination has to be the first one, followed by fertilization. Then after fertilization, what next is going to be seed formation. So you can't form seeds minus pollination. You can't form seed minus fertilization. So we have pollination, fertilization, and seed formation. It is possible to grow plants that are identical or genetically identical. What plants grow in this way called? So they are called clones. Clones meaning to say identical. Plants manufacture their own supplies of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, they are produced during photosynthesis. So under photosynthesis, we are reacting carbon dioxide plus water. to produce oxygen as a waste product. So get me correct here. When it comes to photosynthesis, oxygen is a waste product, and carbon dioxide is a raw material plus energy. So it can be in terms of glucose. So what are the raw materials and waste products of this process? So in terms of the raw materials, we have carbon dioxide and water. In terms of the waste product, we have oxygen. The diagram shows a section 3 a leaf. During photosynthesis, where would the greatest conversion of light energy into chemical energy take place? So it takes place in the palisade. So this is a palisade tissue. So we have B. The diagram shows a section 3 a human tooth. Which part contains blood vessels? So the part containing blood vessels is the pulpy cavity. So this is the pulpy cavity. So the answer is going to be C. So the table shows the results of tests carried out on a sample of food. So Benedict solution, we use it for reducing sugar. So reducing sugar. Then iodine, we use it for sugar or starch. Burette, we use it for proteins. So when proteins are present, we are going to see the violet light, the violet color or purple color. So proteins are present here. For starch, when it is present, you are going to see blue black. When it is absent, you are going to see brown. So it is absent. Then Benedict solution, like I said, reducing sugar. So you can see orange, you can see yellow when it is present. So here it is present. So we have reducing sugar and proteins. So proteins and reducing sugar only, because iodine or starch is not present in this solution. So which diagram shows a red blood cell? So this is the red blood cell, this is a phagocyte, this is a monocyte, and this one can be an animal cell, or it can be an animal cell. For example, you can talk of a liver cell. Then the diagram represents a human blood system. Which part of the heart is the left ventricle? So the left ventricle is the one which pumps blood to the all parts of the body. So it pumps blood to the systemic. So it's going to be D. In which part of a plant does water normally change from liquid into vapor? So the answer is going to be mesophyll, spongy mesophyll. So if you remember here, so during photosynthesis, pulsed cells, they require water, they require carbon dioxide, but if water is excess, it's going to come out through the stomata pore in form of vapor. All right. So it is going to be changed in these cells here. So these cells, they are called the spongy mesophyll cells. Alright, so we can continue. Where is insulin produced and where does it have its main effect? So it is produced by the pancreas, and it has main effect on the liver to convert glucose into glycogen. Then we have this one here, which is saying the diagram shows a root air cell between soil particles. By what process does water move into the cell? So of course you can say osmosis, but if you check here, we don't have osmosis. So osmosis is a kind of diffusion. So the diffusion of water into the root air cell is called osmosis. Then we have this one, which is saying the diagram shows part of a leaf in section or cross section. So we have X, which is a palisade cell, and then Y, which is a guard cell. So these, they are representing what? Structures X and Y are both part of the same. They are both part of which one? They are both part of the leaf, and the leaf is an organ. That is one thing that you need to know. So a leaf is an organ. So they are part of a leaf, which is an organ. Then where does carbon dioxide and oxygen move into and out of a mesophyll cell? So they move by diffusion. So they diffuse out. Then the sandwich is a carnivorous plant. I think this one we answered in the last video. So if you want to see the answer for this one as well as these ones, here you can just check the other video which I created. So I'm going to put it in the link description. Thank you very much for watching.